me learn to multitask really well when doing a lot of big projects, because I work full-time doing animation storyboards, and that takes a lot of time. But I love comics so much, so a lot of times if I want to make them, I have to be forced into, like, here's a deadline, you have to like get this done by here, or it's not going to happen. So just having, you know, a writer, depending on me, to help get a vision done, like working with Joanne, having the deadline of the comics done, and knowing I have sort of work to do is like, how do I cleverly make sure I get everything done really well? And that definitely was a big help. Just like, I really want to get this done. Like, I love just being part of this project, and much like other anthologies that I've been a part of, you meet so many awesome new people when you're part of a group, which is what I really love. So yeah, it's been awesome.
I think I kind of answered that when I just babbled on before, but I'm just really, really happy that this has inspired people to know that they can just jump in and do it, for one thing, because that's always been something that I tell people. If you want to be a writer or you want to be an artist, you have to write and you have to draw. You can't just sit at home and wish that you were those things. You have to do the work, and this just provided such a wonderful space, and all the people that worked on it, the editors were amazing and supportive and enthusiastic, and that makes all the difference in the world in a project like this, for sure, when there's so many people involved. And then to get the exposure out there of things, you know, that people hadn't seen before, or, you know, if they didn't go to a convention, they couldn't see Jean's art, or if they didn't know about, you know, her animation or whatever, and now they get a chance to say, see, this is something else she can do outside of what, you know, she's done before. And I just think that that is just, it's a gift, really. It's a gift, because can be an impenetrable business sometimes, and sometimes you just need that little push. And Womanthology really came in and did an amazing job and put out an amazing product. How many people have actually seen the book or have the book? I don't even have my copy yet, so I haven't actually seen it all put together. So I'm jealous of you all. But just the whole package is amazing. And thank you to all the people who bought the book and supported the Kickstarter, did the work that went into it. And now we have something that's amazing that exists forever.
So for me, I came into this new too, like feminist. This is my first published comic, and it's really just kind of made me realize that with the work and effort, I can achieve my goals, and I can do what I want to do with my life. And it's introduced me to so many wonderful women, and these women are awesome. Everyone that I've met that's worked on the project, or email, or on Facebook and Twitter, everyone is just so supportive and wonderful with the project. And with, my other stories and stuff like that, I try to fit the same sort of themes in there with friendship and strong women who can do it all, And I think that's one of the best things that Womanthology has done for girls and women, is to really just show them that you can follow your dreams and you can do it all, and you can do it while staying true to yourself. And, I look into my daughter's eyes when she reads the book, or when she's talking to me about it, and I just see that excitement and that pride in her eyes, and that reinforcement of what I always try and tell my kids, is that you can be whatever you want to be, and you can make your dreams come true, and it's a heck of a lot of fun along the way, too. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
One of the best things about the signings that I've gone to have been the people that bring their children, their daughters specifically, to meet everyone. And they bring, one girl brought her portfolio so that we could see. And we got to show her in the back where you could actually get into it. So we encourage her to go for the next one. But to have that kind of feedback, to have that kind of opportunity for girls to see other girls making comics here, it's just a huge thing. So, yeah.
And to add to, if you don't try, I was a complete pessimist about this project, because I was like, I'm probably not going to get it. I got it. Yeah, I'm not going to get Gail Simone. That's my writer. I got Gail Simone. We're not going to hit, 25K in a day. It's going to happen at the end of the month. We'll get the money, but it's, going to take the entire month to do it. We got it in, a day. And even then, my friend was I was in a storyboard class in a lecture that night, and my friend kept texting me of it's up this much, and it's not jumping 100, it's jumping 1,000 every text she's sending. And these texts were sent per like 15-minute, half an hour intervals. And then on the last day, I'm like, we're not going to hit the 100K. No, that's impossible. We'll probably settle around 70K or something. No, we hit like 109. It's like, I'm like, okay, I believe.
It was so exciting to see that. And you know, this book obviously filled a need that didn't exist. I mean, it provided a product that didn't exist already that was needed and wanted. So now we all know.
So I want to go ahead and open it up for questions.
You know, whatever they did in the book, and it brings a seriousness to it that they did not have before, even though they could show all their portfolio they wanted, or talk about ideas all they wanted. From a business standpoint, having something published is a major stepping stone.
Yeah, Megan and I are finishing up the book that we're working on, which is the full-length version of Omni Girl, and because of it being published in Womanthology, we've had a few editors who have been interested in seeing it, and they want to see the first 20 pages once we're rolling. So that's been good to have that interest there, but definitely before it was just really hard to break in. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping to get more working comics. At WonderCon, there was a big, since Womanthology came out a few days before WonderCon, like Renee and Laura Morley and a ton of our Womanthology ladies were there. So we had a big signing at IDW, and it's opened up connections that I would have never dreamed of. Like Jim Lee came to our signing, and I was like, it was very, very exciting. And he was like, he's like looking at me, he's like, I'm kind of jealous of you because I haven't gone to work with Gail yet. And I was like, really? And Eddie Berganza was kind enough to look at whatever portfolio I kind of managed to shamble together because that happened last minute. And it's stuff I would have never expected. Like it's hard enough to work in animation and get connections as it is in animation, but comics is also is a very difficult world to get into as well. So to have Womanthology be able to open doors for me, it's mind-blowing.
I'm working on the sequel to Return of the Dapperman, of course, but I've also started work on another crowdfund project that's near and dear to my heart. It's called The Graphic Textbook by Reading with Pictures. So it's a project to get a curriculum comic book to teach kids about math and science in the classroom. So hopefully that'll work out too.
Yeah, I know for me, I'm walking around the show floor yesterday, and a lot of times when you're new in the business and you walk around and try to network, their eyes just glaze over at you. But as soon as they were like, heard that it was Womanthology, it was like, oh hey, it was like all of a sudden you got credit, so we're going to talk to you. But so it was really great in that way to just start networking and really just getting to meet people and know other people in the industry and everything too. So it gives you definitely a push.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to come to C2E2 without Womanthology as a credit, because I tried to get into C2E2 before and was rejected. And definitely, especially with comics, trying to really comic conventions really trying to focus artist alley tables and small press tables on comic artists. And even though I'm like, I have my own comic book, it's kind of stapled together, kind of looking at it going, you're not really published, are you? But yeah, having Womanthology, like I have this gigantic thing behind me. I'm like, yeah, have a table. You can share it with your friends. It's great.
Well, and I've been really pleased with how many people have brought the book up for me to sign at my table. Yeah. It's just very noticeable, and to have it make an impact like that so quickly is so cool. And for me personally, to be able to write the scripts for stories that are definitely outside of what I normally do for DC Comics and other stuff is fun for me. It's fun for me to do stories that are maybe geared towards a younger audience or just a little different style, and I really enjoyed that. And I enjoy doing, like, I also have an essay in Chicks Dig Comics, which is another, it's a book that's full of essays written by female comic creators, and it's kind of neat now they'll hire you.
I was wondering what first got you into comics? What did you start with, and what interested you?
Okay. That Supergirl movie that came in the 80s. I was obsessed with it, and it was like ever since been my goal to like write a Supergirl story. So yeah, tell us later.
No, I actually had never really read comics, but I was a longtime fantasy fan, and one of my best friends is like an avid comic reader. He was always trying to get me to read something. He's like, and he'd give me like these Superman, Spider-Man. I was like, I don't want to read this. I don't want to read this. I don't want to read this. And so then he's like, you know, I think I asked something for you. And I'm like, what is it? And he gave me Bill Willingham's Fables, and I was hooked like crack. I was like, this is great. I had never, ever read anything like that, because I always thought comics were like about men in tights and caves and women in leotards and fishnets, and I just like, you know, it's not me, because I was fantasy and I couldn't really focus on anything else but that. But I was kind of jealous of, you know, my friends who always have these comics, and he always seemed super into them. I said, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I should be reading them, but I don't see anything I like. And when he gave me the Fables, next thing I know, I was like in a comic shop, and I was picking up Gaiman and Vertigo and all this other stuff, and next thing I know, I was just absolutely hooked. But that was like the very first series I read was Fables by Bill Willingham, and that just made me like, oh my God, this is so great. And I stalked him on Twitter too. So that's what got me into comics. That was, I wasn't a long time. I didn't start when I was young. I started in my, early 20s, and because a friend gave me a book that finally caught my interest. And after that, I've always, and I guess I still stay true to that fantasy, the love for fantasy and storytelling, like that in that particular genre. So I would still say I'm staying true to what I love. But that's what got me hooked. Was that series? Yeah.
I grew up with it. Like I grew up reading manhwa and manga because my family came over from Korea, and a lot of things from like Japanese manga is translated into Korean. So in order to keep me speaking Korean while going to school in America, I was reading manhwa and manga, and I watched a lot of animation growing up, and I still do because it's my career and also my love. But like when Batman the animated series started coming on, and we got Superman and Justice League, I was like, I gotta learn more about this. And because I wanted to be Bruce Timm when I grew up. I still want to be Bruce Timm, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. So I started reading Superman, Batman comics, Wonder Woman comics, and just really enjoyed myself. And also Neil Gaiman's Vertigo comics and stuff. Like my favorite comic is like Hellblazer, having Sean Murphy a couple rows down from me. It's pretty exciting.
Well, I'll go next. Much like Gina, I grew up on comics. I love them so much. I grew up on like the Archies and Disney comics, but my dad is also a humongous comic fan, so he just had stacks of stuff ready for when I was old enough to read them. But I'd go through all his Batman and Superman, and then sometimes if they were out of the house, I'd sneak into the heavy metal collection up at the top shelf. So I got into more mature stories, and I was like, oh, you can write stuff in any kind of genre and maturity level. And then went into, around high school, was like into manga, and then in college it was more just everything else I could find, European comics, indie comics, I just devoured them. I love them so much. So since I was a kid, I've been drawing them too. So I love them. I'm just so excited to be here amongst people that love them too. So that's why conventions are awesome. So thank you all for coming. It was awesome.
For me, I grew up in a really small town, well actually on a small farm outside of a small town in Oregon, and it rained a lot, and once chores were done, we had basically no television at that time except for a little bit of golf.